Today, we're going to dissect one of the most unsettling works of horror ever put to paper, the Enigma of Amigara Fault. But we're not going to focus on the psychological dread. Nope, we're going to conduct a full-on clinical investigation into the terrifying biological reality of what actually happens to a human body inside that mountain. You see, the horror of Amigara Fault isn't some monster hiding in the dark. It's not a ghost. As this review points out, the fear is primal. It's this deep, inexplicable compulsion that comes from inside your own head, pushing you towards your own end. It feels less like a haunting and way more like a biological program that's just running its course. So for this explainer, let's just set the psychology aside. We are going to treat the events at Amigara Fault as a documented biological anomaly. Our goal here is to dig into the harrowing science of what the human body would physically have to go through to make it out the other side. All right, so our investigation has to start at the scene, Amigara Mountain. An earthquake hits and it exposes this brand new fault line. In the real world, faults like this can release radon gas, which is actually known to cause things like nervousness and irritability. It's just an unsettlingly plausible place for this whole nightmare to kick off. So this is the central mystery, the anomaly itself. This fault isn't just some crack in the rock. It's covered in these perfect human-shaped silhouettes. And here's the really weird part. People from all over the world start showing up. They're drawn there, not because they're curious, but because of this deep, almost primeval instinct, a compulsion to find the one single hole that was somehow made just for them. And when they find it, that urge to go inside is almost impossible to fight. Now, to even begin to understand the kind of physical trauma we're talking about, we need some kind of scientific model. I mean, the forces required to completely reshape a human body are just immense. To find anything close to a parallel, we actually have to look to astrophysics, to a concept that kind of mirrors this horror on a cosmic scale. And the term for that concept is, believe it or not, spaghettification. It's what happens when something gets too close to a black hole. The gravity pulling on the near side is so much stronger than the pull on the far side that the object gets stretched vertically and crushed horizontally, all at the same time. It's literally pulled apart like a piece of spaghetti. And the parallel here is absolutely chilling. Now, obviously, the force in the mountain isn't gravity, but the result is eerily similar. What scientists call extreme tidal forces, the victims in the story call incomprehensible anguish. Vertical stretching and horizontal compression become this slow, methodical reshaping of a human body. It is, without a doubt, a one-way passage with an inevitable, horrifying outcome. So now we're going to shift our focus. We're moving from the external forces pushing in to the internal, anatomical trauma happening inside. Think of this next part as a kind of speculative autopsy, figuring out exactly what the human body has to endure as it's squeezed through solid, twisting rock. This question, right here, posed by a user online, really gets to the absolute heart of the biological horror. Is this just a process of destruction, of pulverizing a body? Or is it something else entirely? Is the skeleton just shattered, or is it forced to adapt in a way that completely defies biology? Let's break that down. Let's just walk through this claustrophobic journey. It starts with compression, enough force to dislocate your major joints, your shoulders, your hips. Then, over months, that constant grinding pressure would cause skeletal warping. Your long bones would get these tiny microfractures, letting them bend and slowly, agonizingly elongate. Your internal organs would be crushed, displaced, stretched throughout your entire body cavity. And eventually, even your tissues get pulled apart, far beyond any normal biological limit. And here is the most crucial point to understand. The rock does not break for the body. The body is forced to yield to the rock. It isn't pulverized, it is systematically remade. Every single bone, every muscle, every organ is deformed and repositioned to fit a path that was carved out ages ago. This brings us to the neurological horror, because the story heavily implies the victims are awake for this. Can you just imagine your brain trapped inside a body that's being slowly deconstructed for months? It would just be flooded with unimaginable pain signals from every single nerve ending. How could consciousness even endure that? The psychological trauma has to be just as profound as the physical. Okay, section 4. Months go by. And then, on the complete opposite side of the mountain, a different team of researchers discovers the final, horrific outcome of this entire biological process. The exit holes, they're not human-shaped anymore, not even close. They become these grotesquely distorted, twisted cracks in the rock, almost like roots boring their way out. The shape of that exit hole is a terrifying anatomical blueprint of what a human being becomes after that journey through the mountain. And then comes the sound. Drrr, drrr. It's not a scream, it's not a voice, it's the sound of friction. It's the sound of warped bone and raw flesh scraping against stone as whatever is inside inches its way toward the surface. And then, the final reveal. The subject emerges. It is no longer human. Its body has been unrecognizably elongated, its limbs are twisted, its entire form has been contorted to match the exact, horrifying shape of the tunnel it was just forced through. And that, right there, is the ultimate biological horror of it all. This was never just a method of execution. The sheer complexity of it, the fact that the victims somehow survive the months-long process, it implies purpose. The goal was never to end a life. It was to fundamentally change it, to deform a human being into something terrifyingly new. So this leaves us with one final, absolutely chilling question. If this thing is a mechanism for transformation, not destruction, then what's its purpose? Could this be some kind of forced next stage in human evolution? And if it is, what kind of evolution requires such an agonizing metamorphosis? And what in the world is the function of this new, terrifying form? That is the Enigma of Amigara Fault.